Live from our home in Utah. Simone, good morning to you.
Good morning, Gaby.
This is quite extraordinary. 54 million people seeing you give birth in a forest.
That's a lot of people.
Did you actually think that that many people would be watching it?
Never. I thought a few parents would watch it. I remember when I posted it, looking at what other birth videos, home birth videos, for instance, were getting, and they were sort of like maybe 30,000 and 50,000. I think the most at that time, one of the most popular ones, was about 200,000. I thought, I didn't even think mine would get that much. So it's been quite a big surprise.
There were a lot of whys I want to ask you. I think, first of all, why did you decide to put it online?
Well, there was many reasons. I watched many birth videos myself, and I found them very encouraging and helpful, particularly the ones home births and the natural births. And also our third child, my third, Nick's first, was 2 years old at the time, and we wanted her to be present at the birth. So we thought we'd test out the waters with her and show her some carefully chosen home birth videos where they had, kids present, or it was a gentle birth, and so she loved them. She kept on asking to watch them all the time. So we took that as a sign that she was quite comfortable with the concept of watching birth.
OK, so your 2-year-old was there, your other 3 children were there as well. Why do it in the middle of a forest in a stream?
I was about 8 years ago now. I watched a birth video, a birth movie called Birth into Being, or Birth as We Know It, by a beautiful woman called Eleanor Tonetti, who does a lot of birth movement stuff. And in it I saw for the very first time footage of Russian women giving birth in the Black Sea. And I remember watching it and I'd never seen anything like that. It hadn't even occurred to me that that would be something you would do. And I just remember watching it. I already had 2 children, and just my whole body just kind of like exploded. It was like, oh my goodness, that's just what I want to do. And it just felt like the most natural thing that I could do. And I don't mean natural as in being nature. I just mean natural as a woman, trusting my body, trusting that life's designed us this way. And it just felt perfect. So from that point forward, I had the dream to
there were a
give birth
lot
in
of
nature.
risks involved in this. I mean, you were obviously, were you thinking about the baby as well? If something had gone wrong, you were 30 minutes away from help.
I did things that were within my power, for instance. I mean, I wasn't worried. I've done a lot of work. I'm also an emotional therapist. I've done, a lot of inner work. I've done a lot of doula training. I trust myself. I'm very, very healthy. So I kept on checking in, and I had a deep inner knowing that it was going to be all perfect. And still, to be responsible, I went and had an ultrasound about a month before she was born, and just to rule out anything that was within my control of knowing. For instance, if I had placenta previa, which is when the placenta covers the cervix, or if the baby had a hole in its heart or something. I also notified the local midwife and told them what I was planning to do, and said, would you be willing for me to call you at the last minute if need be? And I didn't expect to, but they said yes. And I also notified, there was a local helicopter pilot, and I also notified him that I was in the area and I was going to be giving birth, and I checked that he was going to be around that weekend. And so I had standby things in place.
The most extraordinary thing to watch, the extraordinary thing to watch is that you make it look like it's incredibly painless. I've done it twice. Oh boy, it wasn't quite that painless.
No, it hurts. It does. But I go very deep inwards. I think that when you feel very safe, when you've got family around you, you're not bright lights and metal instruments and beeping machines and strangers walking in and out, and constant checking, including internal checks. That's very disturbing. We don't do that to animals, even animals in captivity. We don't disturb their birth process, and yet that's what the hospital medical system does. I felt very safe, so I can then go into a very deep place within me, and that's when you start to actually switch off the left side of the brain, and you go into that really primal cortex part, and you can access some really, really deep aspects of self.
Well, the deep part of your body was where Peruse was, and I know that Peruse is doing very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us today.
Thank you, Gaby.
Thank you.